everyone! Today I'm going to be going over yet another wig dyeing technique, this time revisiting ink dyeing since my previous video was filmed rather poorly when I first did it. To demonstrate this technique, I'll be using a lace front wig sent to me by Wigs. If you'd like to see my review on the wig, check the description for a link to that video. And if you'd like to get a wig like this one, Wigs has given me the promo code LunaLen to get 10% off your purchase on their website. This wig is so lovely and I'd highly recommend them if you're interested in any kind of lace front wig. But without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. So first things first, I needed to curl this wig since Nezuko has curly hair. The reason I chose this wig was because it started dark at the roots and it got lighter near the bottom, which I figured would be perfect for dyeing her black to orange gradient. This way, I'd also not have to worry about dyeing the roots of the wig, which honestly gets pretty tricky when trying not to accidentally dye the lace. Another thing I should point out here is that every time I heat up a section with my curler, I make sure to clip it to the wig in the curled up position until it completely cools. With synthetic fibers, it's the cooling process that really sets your curls in place, so you want to make sure to give them adequate time to cool down before letting them unravel. So, once my wig was curled how I wanted it, it was time to begin dyeing the wig. To dye the wig, I grabbed 2 different bottles of FW acrylic ink, one in black and the other in flame orange. You're also going to need a comb that you don't mind getting ink on, some gloves to save your hands from getting stained, some 70% rubbing alcohol, and a spray bottle. Now before we go further, I have a disclaimer. I do not recommend doing this inside your house because this stuff will go everywhere and the rubbing alcohol has a very strong smell. Make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area where the floor is protected. In my case, I had the back sliding door open right next to me and a tarp under my wig. We also were just about to rip up the carpet, so I wasn't exactly worried about accidentally leaking onto it, which is why you see me working indoors. But again, I do not recommend these conditions, and if you choose to work indoors, you do so at your own risk. End disclaimer. Okay, so then I took my rubbing alcohol, poured some into my spray bottle. You're going to need like double the amount I put in here because I ran out halfway through spraying. And then I took about 4 full droppers of the black ink and squirted it on. You may also want to heavy hand the black ink too because after one coat of this, my wig wasn't quite as dark as I would have liked it, so keep that in mind. Before spraying the ink onto my wig, I separated the wig out into 3 chunks just to make it a bit easier to make sure I didn't miss any areas. Starting close to the roots where the black was, I then began to spray down the wig, massaging in the ink mixture as I went and also tried to keep it from dripping down further than I wanted it to go. I wanted to keep the ends blonde so I could dye those orange later. But for now, I just kept working in the dye until I got all the areas I wanted black covered to the best of my ability. Once I finished with the black, I changed my spray bottle out with the flame orange ink instead. Now, this also ended up being a little more diluted than I wanted, so you definitely want to make sure to heavy hand the orange to alcohol mixture as well. At one point I took straight ink to the wig just to make it a bit brighter, but eventually I got my mixture right. Once the bottom was totally covered, I left my wig to dry overnight. The next morning, I brushed out the wig with a fine-tooth comb. You want to make sure you start at the bottom and work your way up. This way you don't accidentally tangle your wig. Once it's brushed out, it should be good to go. If you're worried about ink transferring onto your clothes, it might be a good idea to rinse it out with cold water and let it dry again. Though this may also lift some of the color or cause it to bleed into your lighter areas, so be careful when rinsing. Personally, I want to go back over my own wig with another coat of black just to eliminate that weird grayish area between the two colors where the black wasn't quite pigmented enough, but I've been pretty limited on time lately, so I didn't get a chance to do that before I had to move all of my wig stuff to a new location. However, I hope you guys still found this walkthrough helpful, and if you have any questions or would like to see any other wig or cosplay related tutorials, leave a comment below with your suggestions. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helps you with your own wig adventures.